I don't know if it's working. Maybe it's working now. Yeah, I think it is. I'm telling you. I was going to start off with apologizing for missing Friday and I'll explain that, but now I think I need to apologize for right now. It was working perfectly until we went live. It just it flashed a signal. It's the first time I've ever seen it. It flashed a signal up on my screen that says your microphone has been muted. It's like, why? How? Who? Do you ever hear it's not easy being me? Well, that's one thing you can take to the bank. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm sorry about missing Friday. Here's the truth of it. I thought it was Saturday all day Friday. I really did. At 3:30 in the afternoon, Sue says, "Are you going to that jam tonight?" And I said, "Jam? What jam? It's Saturday. There's no jams on Saturday." And she goes, "It's not Saturday, it's Friday." And I went, uh-oh, I forgot to do my vlog today. Oh my gosh. I'll tell you the truth, I was in such a low place, depressed place after Thursday night's Christmas show. I was so depressed because the sound was so bad. I don't know. I guess I just got in some funky mode and got my days mixed up and skipped a day or something, trying to get away from the Thursday night Christmas show, I guess. I don't know. I have no excuse. I just screwed up. That's all. It's terrible. It's just terrible. I did release 2 videos over the weekend. One of the reasons that I thought it was Saturday was I jumped on the Bobcat first thing, Friday morning, which I thought was Saturday morning, and started working on that new road going up the hill. And then you saw the video that I released. It only took me less than 2 hours probably to actually put that road in. It's just something that never occurred to me before because it's such thick woods through there, and the hill's really steep. So you wouldn't think you could put a road through there, honestly. And I'm sure that's why nobody else ever did it. But then after it dawned on me that hey, I can cut a flat road right up the side of that hill. After it dawned on me that I could do that, it didn't take no time to do it. So I got that done. And then I edited the part 2 of the rifle stock thing and got that out. So at least I did get something accomplished. And Saturday we went to a family Christmas, our Sconce family, which my grandfather Arnold Sconce is the one that I wrote Grandpa's Old Fiddle about. And here's a little bit more information that I got over the weekend. This is, I've mentioned to you before that he lived on the Current River at the mouth of Blue Springs. Well, here's Blue Springs Lodge. And he was having a public sale when to move away from there. And he didn't own the lodge. It says Arnold Sconce owner there under that public sale, but he was the owner of the stuff they were selling. He wasn't the owner of the lodge. He was the caretaker of the lodge. There's no sign of that lodge there anymore if you go to Blue Springs, but there is. You can still see a little bit of foundation work out in the weeds and stuff there. But anyway, the interesting thing about this photo and the sale is, I'm going to blow up just the sale part there. If you notice there under miscellaneous, the third item down, it says broad axe. Well, there you go. See that big in my display there, in my display case, I have that broad axe as the centerpiece. I have a feeling that he didn't sell the broad axe in the public sale, and that's how it ended up being my broad axe. That's just the best guess I've got. I'm not even sure that it's the same broad axe, but it kind of makes sense. because where he moved to after that, he definitely did not need a broadaxe from that point on, because he moved into the St. Louis City area, on Minerva Street in more or less downtown. It was not quite downtown, but you know what I mean. It's close to the downtown St. Louis area. And then later he moved to Bellefontaine Neighbors, which was a subdivision type area and small lots, so he wouldn't have had a need for a broadaxe there. So my point is that I think it didn't sell in that sale, and he just carried it along with him, and then I inherited it. So I thought that's pretty cool to find evidence of the broadaxe there in that public sale. That's something that just wouldn't normally happen. You know, just kind of a very strange coincidence. And someone was passing that picture around over the, at the family reunion or the Christmas party there, family Christmas party. So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see. Here's a little short video about my firewood situation. And if you recall, then you notice, if you saw the video about me making that new road up the hill, well, then you saw me carrying the firewood down in the trailer, and it was a big, a good-sized trailer load of wood. Well, here's the follow-up video about that.
Thank goodness it's warming up here today. It's already in the 40s this morning. But it was cold enough to do enough damage over the weekend. You can see all I've got is the old wood there. I had a whole trailer load of this big heavy oak. Got it on Friday, brought it down my new road, and burned every bit of it because it was so cold this weekend. Those are the last two pieces of that great big oak. And each one of those pieces, I'm not exaggerating, that one there probably weighs at least 50 pounds, if not 60 or 70. That one was probably 50. I'm telling you, they're heavy. Crazy, crazy heavy. Those there are light by comparison. Anyway, that'll keep it going all day since it's nice and warm out here. So Sue stacked up all the green wood and put a tarp over it, which I'm not sure, she doesn't probably realize that that was green. So to me, it was almost better just to leave it out in the open, but it don't matter. Anyway, we'll burn all the rest of this for sure this week. And I've got at least two more loads, big trailer loads up there, maybe three. And I'll have to take the Bobcat up our new road and go way back there. It's about, I don't know, from right here, it's more than a half mile back there, I'm sure. And the good news is, after we split it back there, we can pull it back down our new road. And we don't have to go all the way around and come back, which will be a great thing.
Yeah, so I'm really pretty excited about my new road. I don't know why that didn't happen a long, long time ago. It's just something that never occurred to me. I just never thought, the road was already there when we bought the place, and everybody, you could tell it had been used for years and years and years, and we just kept using it. Well, now we don't have to use that straight up and down road. Here's another little thing I did this morning. Here's another little project I did this morning for JR. I had this built years ago. I actually had it built just to that point at one time, and then I added that extension on. And the reason I added the extension on was when I set that tall 65-foot tower up there. This would only get me in the air at about, 20-some feet, or about almost 30 feet, I guess. Almost 30 feet. Well, anyway, the point is, I just weighted the tower down and lifted it up, and then the light in went up, even though the light in was much longer. So today, though, I had rebuilt this
this is my grapple bucket from my where I use my grapple. My thumb which is over against the building. I took that off so I could put this on there. JR's got to set trusses on that house he's building. And because I had rebuilt this bucket, the holes didn't line up anymore, so I had to rework all that this morning. But it's working now. It should work to pick up his trusses and set them in place.
Always something to do here. I mean, like, you never have 5 minutes to do nothing. At least that's the way it feels like to me. Here is let's see here. Okay, here's the status of the Gunstock here at the moment. I haven't made any more real progress on the gun, but I did make these side panels. They got a little bit of orange peel in the finish here. I only need 2. I made 5 so I could have some practice, and of course I'll try to use the best ones and save the best ones for when I feel like I've got it down. But anyway, those side panels I think will fix all the additional problems I have with the strength. Because they're going to span all the way from here to all the way to here. And, that's really where the weak area is. So it should fix any of the other issues I'm having, because when you put those side panels on there, the grain won't match, and therefore it really makes it a lot stronger. Yep, and those side panels, in case you're wondering, those are going to be, can't think of the right word, checkered also. They're going to be checkered. That's why I needed so many of them. I'm going to practice my checkering on those and hopefully get it down pretty good. Then attach those to the rifle stock, and then after I get them attached, then I'll finish the whole stock, put the finish on there, and then I'll checker the rest of the stock. The checkering, well, almost every video I've seen, there has been 1 or 2 that didn't have a finish, but almost all of them have a finish on there. I think that might make it easier to checker, honestly, because I tried it without the finish, and it just wants to follow the grain line. So I think the finish will help in that regard. Or at least that's my hope. And I'm going to start that process tomorrow. And speaking of tomorrow, we will have a vlog tomorrow, assuming I don't start thinking it's like Wednesday or Thursday or something. But we're not going to have one the rest of the week. We're not going to have a vlog the rest of the week. We'll have the next vlog on Monday. So we'll have the vlog today, of course, and then tomorrow, and then we'll skip until next Monday. Just because of so many Christmas family things going on. And I'm sure many of you have a lot of that going on too. Let's see. I think that's pretty much everything. Well, on those pieces again, just to reiterate, the reason I'm making that again is really just for strength. That will make that area that's weak with that grain, it'll make that really strong. It's not going to ever break there again once I get those pieces attached. But I've got a little process to get there, and I haven't quite made the whole process yet. Let's see the comments. Bill Rhodes, we got 111 viewers at the moment. Bill Rhodes says good afternoon. Joe Cool says happy holiday. Rod Wentler says big howdy from rainy Berkeley. And then Dottie's there, and Ozar says couldn't see Friday vlog. Is it in jail? No, I was in something. I wasn't in jail, but I was in something. I was in kind of a funky mood, I guess. But at least by the way, in case I don't know, you're the kind of person that wants to see somebody get punished for making a mistake. I definitely got punished for making the mistake on Friday and not doing it. And the punishment was I ran that Bobcat for about 2 solid hours, working on that hill. And Saturday, my legs were so sore. I could walk okay Saturday, but they were really, really sore. And if you don't know, the Bobcat, the bucket and the up and down and the tilt on the bucket is all done with your feet, and you're moving your legs like this pretty much constantly for 2 hours. Well, my legs were so sore Saturday, it was just incredible. Then on Sunday, it got way worse. I could barely move or walk on Sunday. Oh my gosh. Now today, it's back a little bit better than it was Saturday. Saturday was bad, but Sunday was way worse. And then today, it's a little better than it was Saturday. So I think I'm getting better again. I definitely got punished for that one, I'm telling you. Let's see. Dottie's praying for us. Thank you, Dottie. Ronald Todd says, hello from the West Bank of New Jersey. Let's see. Bill Webb says, good afternoon. And then he's beautiful 70 degrees and sunny here in Texas. It's supposed to be 70 here on Christmas Day. That's kind of crazy. Excuse me. The boys are coming in Christmas evening, the night of Christmas, and they're going to get to stay a few days again also, which is nice. And apparently while they're here, I'll be busy assembling things. I can't really say any more than that right now, but I'll be assembling some things. Sounds like, anyway. Let's see. Brian Byler says, happy Monday. Gino Hitch says, Merry Christmas. And let's see. Dottie, once again, is praying for us. Jerry, why was there no vlog on Friday? Well, you know now. Dottie says, hit the like button. It helps. And I really do appreciate it if you would hit it. It does help. She's going to need a pass for tomorrow. Well, doggone it, then you're going to have a pass till Monday. Jeff says, watching Jerry making the rifle stock, it'll be a beauty when finished for sure. That item on the stock is the recoil pad. Had me thinking too. Yeah, shoulder pad. I've heard it called all kinds of things. Recoil pad is a good common one, but shoulder pad's pretty common too. Butt plate. Usually, if it's not a pad, it's the piece that covers the end is called a butt plate. So I kept calling it a butt plate, but I don't care. It's just like I've always said, and I mean this sincerely. I don't give a rip what you call something. I give a rip if you know how to use it, and what it's there for, and how to do something with it. That's all I give a rip about. And as long as that's the case, then I'm good. Just like a tool. I don't care if you know what you call the tool. Do you know how to use the tool? That's all that matters to me. Let's see. Dottie says, Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year for all the Rosa group. Remember the reason for the season, for sure. Wayne Blitz, good afternoon, Jerry and friends. Hope all is going well and everyone is keeping it safe. Dottie says, Dottie's talking to Ronald there. Then after we went live, but before we go to that, it occurred to me that you said the reason for the season. Well, I definitely know what that reason is, but I was starting to write yet another song. So I don't know. We were at the jam on Friday night after Sue reminded me that it was Friday. I went to the jam at the Houston House down in Newburgh on Friday, and no one had turned the heat on in that old building, and so it was pretty chilly in there for that jam that evening. Everybody was talking about how cold it was, and we were playing. Once I start playing, I don't really notice the cold all that much. But somebody said something about, I think it was Beverly. She was sitting next to me there, and she said something about how cold it was. And I said, there ain't no cold like Christmas cold. And so I started writing that song, Ain't No Cold Like Christmas Cold. And it's not necessarily about the reason for the season, but you understand my point. And anyway, I've got a few lines of it written. It could possibly, it's got potential. I just don't know if it's going anywhere yet or not. Daddy says, love watching making the Gunstock Part 2. It's amazing what you can do with wood. Well, thank you. I'll tell you, you can, you vloggers know that I've got the clip fitted to that. That was not an easy job right there, fitting that clip in there and getting that to work. That was not simple. But I think it's working pretty good. The clip, I think, is actually pinched a little bit, pinched in, and that's keeping the shells from coming up inside the clip. Not the gun, not the stock itself, but the clip itself. The clip seems to be a little pinched, so I'm going to have to work on that some and see what's causing those bullets to hang inside the clip. So I don't know. It's got to be pinched by the stock somehow. Anyway, moving on down. Mainly looking for question marks now. David Sutter says, for what it's worth, I thought the sound was fine on your Christmas show. I heard everything, and I used to run sound for a living. Well, thank you, David. That's much appreciated. But I tell you, I was bumming out. And, let me back up the truck on that a little bit, too, and explain what happened. I said that night that I didn't change anything, and I stand by that. I didn't change anything on the, in the setup of this equipment or the setup of windows or I didn't make any physical changes. However, I did make a change. I did update the Windows driver. And like a dummy, I didn't test it thoroughly. I just, when you update a driver, you typically think it's going to make things better, Did you ever hear it's not easy being me? Anyway, that's what caused the problem, I'm sure. I haven't actually gone in to double check that yet, but I'm 99% sure that's what caused the problem. Because I remember now, after it dawned on me, it took a while before it dawned on me, but after it dawned on me that I did update that driver, I'm thinking, yep, I think that happened once before. So there's where the problem was. I should have thought of that. But I didn't. And then, to make matters worse, when we went to the two mics, it's like when it rains, it just pours. I mean, like it just flat pours. I thought I was very careful at tracing those wires back to get to the proper two mics and plug them into the proper two that still work. I got one of them wrong. I don't know how I did it because I literally traced the wire back, and how I somehow, some way, that wire got switched in my hand or something, and I got one of the mics plugged in wrong. That's why only one of those mics was working. It's like you just can't win for losing. I'm not kidding you. I was so depressed over it. I just didn't even want to talk to anybody. I was so bummed. Because, you look forward to stuff and you want to try to do your best, and then you just screw it up. And it's suck canal water. Anyway, Bruce Stucker says, as the old saying goes, Jerry, stuff happens. Yeah, boy, that is the truth. I'm the poster boy for stuff happens. If you look that up in the dictionary, you'll see my picture right there. Bill Mumbo, Jerry, I enjoyed the Christmas show. I played ukulele bass all through. Well, that's good. Bill Webb says, I almost missed praise team practice Wednesday 2 weeks ago because I thought it was Tuesday. Yeah. Well, these kinds of things aren't getting any easier for me. The older I get, they're not becoming more and more crystal clear anymore. Let's see. Dottie says, don't be depressed because the Christmas show, any bluegrass music is good. The show wasn't that bad. I just turned the sound up. Well, thank you, Dottie. We tried. And actually, the music on our end, was pretty tight. It wasn't perfect, but it was reasonably tight. Ranger Ray says, Ranger Ray's 1965 says, I can't stay, but I wanted to take this opportunity to say thanks for all your old setup videos. I used your knowledge to do my own setup on my HD28. Well, I'm glad it helped, or at least I hope it did. And I do get those kinds of emails and comments very often, so that's nice to hear. Jeffer P says the most exciting thing I do each morning is try to figure out what day it is. Well, I have my days where I can think of that as being I'm just pretty crystal clear, but then like Friday wasn't so much. I don't know why I thought it was Saturday. I really don't. But all day long I thought it was Saturday. I just kept doing my thing, Boy, I sure paid for it. I sure paid for it when Saturday came around. Even though it was only Friday. Man, I'm seriously telling you, my legs were super sore. I just wouldn't have thought operating a Bobcat for 2 hours like that. Of course, it's pretty intense. You're moving that thing a lot with your legs during that 2 hours. I just didn't think it would hurt that bad, but boy, it sure did. Don Nice says, Jerry, you think you are old. Wait till you get my age, 80. I forgot the year. Joe 1BL says, hiya, all best of luck for your PT. Oh, she's talking to Dottie. Yeah, I hope that works out good for your physical therapy. Richard Herbranson says, hi, Jerry. Been scraping the binding after putting on the leather dye staining. Seems like to clean up the binding, I have to scrape down and actually remove some binding. Is that normal? Yeah, that is normal. You should be able to, you're only removing a very, very thin amount when you're scraping it like that. And, if you're, once you get your techniques down, it's pretty fast, really. You can do it pretty quickly and pretty neatly. It just takes practice. I've scraped a few 100 yards of binding by now, I'm sure. Michael Thompson, good afternoon, Jerry and friends. Dottie says, hey, Jerry, talking about your legs being so sore, welcome to my world after physical therapy. I bet. I bet. I'll tell you what, yesterday I was all but crippled. I could barely walk at all yesterday. I couldn't get down. I can't sit. I couldn't even sit down if I was standing up. I could, your legs hold so much, of your weight as you're sitting down like that. And man, they were bad yesterday. They're quite a bit better today, but they're still pretty sore. Let's see. Olav Serlin Hansen says, I see nowadays politically correct people do not say Merry Christmas, lest they been seen as not inclusive enough. Forget all the nonsense. Merry Christmas to all. Yes, I agree. Merry Christmas. I always say Merry Christmas. I mean, Happy Holidays is okay. I don't see anything wrong with saying that, but Merry Christmas. It's Christmas, and I think that's real good. Paul Akers enjoyed the trail making video. Well, thank you. Yeah, that trail, honestly, I think that's a game changer for this farm. It really is. And I'm going to, now that I did that, and now that I've got the technique down pretty good. See, it's hard to see your hills really slanted like this. And it's pretty steep. It's really pretty darn steep. That's why those boulders rolled down the hill. Anyway, once you've got to get your cut started flat. Once you get it started flat and you get your tracks on that flat, It's a piece of cake. You can just keep going. It's that starting point is the hard part. And so basically you just dig in and then you dump the dirt on the lower side. You dig in, dump the dirt on the lower side, just keep dumping on the lower side there at the beginning. And once you get it built up flat, well, then you just take off and go. And it's really a pretty easy thing to do. Once you get you just got to get that flat spot started, and then you just maintain it the rest of the way up the hill. It was really fairly easy. Ronald Todd, Jerry, the sound disappointment from Thursday and then the Friday amnesia reminds me of the bad trip to Mountain View. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Yeah, when I make a mistake, I make them really big. Let's see. Thanks for bringing that up and reminding me again. That always helps when you're depressed. BRF says, Merry Christmas, and thank you. Back to you. Michael Broussard, put a colored zip tie on each of your mic cables, different color for each cable. Well, that works for colored people that can see colors. Yeah, the color thing has never been my thing to go to. I see people do stuff like that all the time, but that just doesn't work for me very well. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I got plenty of light on it, I can tell the difference. But like behind this table or cabinet where these things are, I can't see the color. It wouldn't help me at all. Bill Rhodes, Gary, don't be so hard on yourself. Well, I'm trying not to be. I'm kind of over it now, but it really was depressing. It really was, because you look forward to that, and you don't want to screw it up. And I just screwed it up big time. I was trying to make it better. I was trying to get this dang number 4 mic. They gave us a whole new machine because I went through every test, every scenario I can think of. I've tried everything I can think of and 100 things I couldn't think of to get that channel number 4 to work. So I got to thinking, it's got to be a bad channel in that box. So I sent the box back to them, and they sent me a brand new unit. Channel 4 doesn't work in that one either. So obviously it's got nothing to do with the box. It's got something to do with all this setup, and I'm pretty sure it's the software we're using right now. I'm about 99% sure it's got, well, in fact, I'm almost 100% sure, because I can see all 8 channels. I can see them all in Windows. They all work physically on the box. And you can see the signal going up and down on the box, and then they work in Windows, but they're not working in this dang software. And the software's, why? I have no idea. I've been through the software, every single setting you can think of to find, and some you wouldn't ever think of to find. And I don't see a single thing in there anywhere that would cause Channel 4 not to work, but it just don't work. So that's what I was updating the driver for, was I thought, well, maybe a new driver will make it work, Yeah, that worked real good. That helped a whole lot. Michael Broussard says, I got that one. Let me see. I'm moving on down here. Let's see. Yeah, he said to put them on each end. Yeah, I totally get it. I just don't get it. Bill Rhodes, sorry about the name, Jerry. That's no problem. Wavy Gravy, I don't care what you call me. All I care about is if you call me in time to eat. If you do that, I'm fine. Wavy Gravy, I can relate to Santa Claus. I'm old, I'm fat, and no one else believes in me. No one believes in me. Yeah, I'm getting right there with you, buddy. Cup of Cool. Well, I'm in trouble because I'm only 58 and I don't even know where I am, let alone what day it is. Yep. Yeah, well, I've been there. I've had those days way before now, too. Yeah. David Sutter says, I always thought to a reason for saying happy holidays was to include the Jewish Hanukkah also. Well, I guess that's possible. I guess that's possible too. But I think I'd say happy Hanukkah. And so if there's any Jewish folks watching, happy Hanukkah. Wavy Gravy, what kind of music do Santa's elves listen to while they ready all the presents? Why, rap music, of course. Yeah. There's Yolanda, that traitor that didn't show up Thursday, and she's so glad she didn't because the sound wasn't worth a darn. Merry Christmas, all. I still enjoyed the show Thursday. Still sounding good. Well, thanks, Yolanda. You're very kind. But in hindsight, you're glad you weren't here. Let's see. Bill Rhodes, I'm glad you can still laugh about it. Well, there's just either laugh or cry, you know. My legs are so darn sore, I have to laugh to keep from crying about that. Oh, that's crazy how that could make your legs that sore. I never thought that would do that. It didn't bother me at all while I was doing it. The 2 hours I worked the Bobcat, I didn't even notice it. You know, it's just reflex and you're just going 100 miles an hour and you don't pay any attention to it at all. And I didn't even notice it. Boy, I sure did the next day. Joe Biker says, things going wrong is my favorite part. Well, I ought to keep you really entertained. If you just keep watching, buddy, you'll see plenty go wrong. That part, I'm like the world's best at that. Yolanda says, believe me, you don't want what I had. No. I don't want what you had. Not at all. Bruce Ducker, hope you're feeling better, Yolanda. Yep. And then Yolanda says, I don't think that's the kind of Christmas magic y'all would like to have. No, not at all. Well, guys, that looks like that's about the end of it here. We will have a vlog again tomorrow. I appreciate y'all being here. And again, I apologize for Friday. I apologize for Thursday night, too. It was all my fault, every bit of it. We will see you tomorrow with something else.